This is the state of the nation. Ibifa Uganda. We are deliberate, we are reasonable, we are uncensored. The state of the nation with Henry Salah. All right. Nice to see you all. Welcome. This is the State of the Nation. And of course, tonight we have Voices Abroad. But before we begin, as always, we wish to acknowledge this land on which the University of Toronto African Alumni Association operates. For thousands of years, it has been the traditional land of the Huron-Wendat, the Seneca, and the Mississaugas of the Credit. Today, this meeting place is home to many Indigenous people from across the Turtle Island, and we are grateful to have the opportunity to operate on this land. My name is Henry Sally, and I am delighted to be here tonight. As in the previous two episodes of Voices Abroad, we expect to see Afande Momo shortly. She will be joining us shortly, and she will be basically what she's going to tell us today is what's going on in Boston, what is the scheduling according to the information she has, what are the events that are going to happen for the rest of the year and perhaps into the next year. But there are also some questions regarding some of the vision that she shared in the last two episodes, namely the introduction or establishment of a Ugandan cemetery in Massachusetts, in the heart of Massachusetts. Abasinga obungi mukimanyi bulungi nti bali mu kuplaninga kugula ttaka mu Boston, Massachusetts. Apparently there are 16 acres of land that they hope to purchase, oba ze bagezaako okupursuinga right now. And among the 16 acres, according to Afande Momo, she hopes that they can establish a Ugandan cemetery. Kijja kujjako abantu abasinga obungi stress y'okulowooza nti nno nave Uganda nina okuddayo Uganda okunziikayo. Kati abantu abasazeewo okujja okubeera wano bagenda kubeererawo ddala, n'abo abawulira nti baagala okubaziika wano basasula insurance ng'ebaziika wano ekifo ky'okubazaayo e Uganda. Be bazaalidde wano abaana basobole okubeera nga tebalina kulinnya nnyonyi kugenda kubalimako. Parently bajja kuggulawo n'olunaku mu community where community goes to remember heroes, I think. Basobole okuba nti basobola okugenda okulima ku bijja by'abantu baabwe on a regular basis without pressure. All right. As we continue to wait for Afande Momo to join us tonight, njagala okutuusa okusaasira kwange eri banna-UK mwenna wamu ne banna-Uganda okutwaliza wamu okufiirwako Mwami Pascal. Of course, ababadde bagoberera ensonga ezo mukirabye nti nno because of the things he has been doing in the community, his life has been celebrated in a classy way. Twalabye nga bamusabira n'okulaba nti no community efuddeyo nnyo okulaba nti emujjukira mu bitiibwa byasaanidde okubeera nga ajjukirwamu. N'olw'ensonga eyo mu kulaba akavidiyo ako ze mbadde mbuuza gwe naawe weebuuze nti how will you be remembered? What kind of impact do you have to your community? Are they going to do the same thing when your time comes? Because we know that we are here for a moment and eventually we are going to take the same path. Naye gwe obudde bwe bunaatuuka, will you be remembered the same way that Mr. Pascal is being remembered right now in the UK. Newankubadde nga bali mu biwoobe, newankubadde nga bali mu maziga, you could clearly see that this is a man who has positively impacted his community. N'okulaba nti no, he's going to be missed. The good thing is that he has mentored some of the people babadde akola nabo, including some of his children. So we hope that they will run the business in a similar manner or better than he was running it. All in all, njagala okutuusa okusaasira kwange eri bannayuke mwenna ne famire ya Mwami Pascal olw'okuviirwako senior citizen oyo ate someone who has impacted the community in such a manner. All right. Waliwo ebigenda maaso mu Toronto next weekend. Next weekend we do have what we call the Gown African Scholars Awards that is going to happen at the University of Toronto. For those of you who do not know what the Gown is is a celebration of African excellency. And this is managed by the University of Toronto African Alumni Association. This year we have about 16 or 17, 16 recipients on top of the one honorary recipient. So we are very excited. If you haven't been invited yet, you could ask the people in charge, namely Catherine Batte ayinza okubuulira ani agaba invitations ezo era oba oyagala okujja weetaaga ki. All right. Lugafest Toronto is happening on June 27th and beyond. If you do want to participate in Lugafest Toronto, reach out to me. I will definitely let you know how to get involved. Go na ayagala okwegatta ku Uganda Festival Toronto, tuwulire ki kye weetaaga, tusobole okubeera nga tukubuulira ebyetaagisa na wa wegenda okubeera na ddi wegenda okubeerayo. Of course, that is next month, June 27th. The Luo Convention is happening May 23rd to May 2025, I believe. So May 23rd to May 23rd. If you haven't registered yet for the Luo Convention, genda kubeera wano Toronto, register, come and talk about culture, similar to what we are going to talk about in Uganda Festival. So Luo Convention is happening May 23rd to 25th. Find out who is in charge. Amasimo gako kwegali genda ku website yaabwe. Bw'oba toli Uganda ng'oli mu America oba mu Europe, you can still register. Register, come enjoy, engage in these conversations as well. Nga bwe nabagambye, the gown is happening. The gown is happening next Friday. Come and join us. We are going to be at Mercy College. And we are going to be celebrating African excellency. All right. Today we have diaspora voices or voices abroad. We do have Afande Momo joining us shortly. She hasn't yet come. But as soon as she comes, we shall engage in that conversation. Before that conversation begins, weekend, this past week that ended yesterday, there's a couple of things that happened in our community. Omanyi tekikola amakulu okubeera nti no ngezaako okumanya biki ebifa mu communities endala nga sibabulidde kiki kifa Toronto. So what is happening in Toronto? A lot of things are happening in Toronto. For starters, last night wabaddeyo gye bayita Newcomers Bash. Bangambi yabadde very well attended. I want to congratulate all those organizers who put together the Newcomers Bash. But besides the Newcomers Bash oba amasanyu, last weekend waliwo Noop, I think Noop Toronto oba Noop Canada in conjunction with Noop Ottawa bategeka protest Ottawa. In that protest, which seemed to be very well organized and successful, there was a response to that, and that response pertains to someone within our community. Omwami gwe ndowooza nti mwami wa buvunaanyizibwa eyawandiika ebbaluwa. Mu bbaluwa eyo na including almost all the people abali Ottawa. I have no idea how he got his hands on the list of participants in that protest, but I want to put a challenge to the leadership of NUP in Canada to tell the community ani akwata register eyo gye mwawandiika n'agiwa mwami Ssebuggwawo, kubanga according to the investigations I've done, these are independent investigations, tewali yambuulidde. Of course, now receiving a PDF eyo, and I examined the PDF to find out where did this originate. So whoever wrote it, yagiwandikirako computer ye, and yatandika from about 8 o'clock and beyond. So later yasooka yagiwandika ku ssaawa nga 2 plus, later yasembayo yagiwandika ku ssaawa nga 4 plus. I do have the details. I'm not going to give you the nitty-gritties, but that's what the simple investigations told me. My challenge is we are trying to build a community. Leo tuba tugezaako building a community. Ng'ate muffe nnyini newankubadde nga tulina misunderstandings oba obutakkaanya mu nsonga ezimu oba endala. To spend more than 3 hours writing 2 letters implicating people, including newcomers, n'owandiika n'oweereza Ottawa. Do you think you are doing the community a favor when you do that? I mean, tuyinza okubeera n'obutakkaanya wano ne wali nga community, naye okuwandiika ebbaluwa n'oteekamu amannya g'abantu bonna, including abaana abapya abamu abali innocent, some people who are just naive, n'obateeka ku list eyo. Ng'abaana abamu baspendinze, at least buli muntu ali wano aspendinze, buli muntu ali wano in my judgment, okusinziira ku bintu engeri gye mbirabamu right now, aspendinze at least obukadde 12 obwa Uganda. Azze wano omutadde mu kipapula ekyo. Now you're making his or her family back home nervous. Nkitegeera. Nate nga there is really no value nkola ekintu ekyo kubanga tewali kyogenda kufunamu. Eventually baku-identify nti gwe wagiwandiika. Nkitegeera. Ate ogigabidde omuntu blogger agezaako oku-attributing the writing to themselves, naye ate nga si yagiwandiise. In essence, ensonga lwaki njogera ku kino ekintu, njagala tweddeko nga banna Toronto. Tuleme kubeera nga Abangereza, kubanga omuze guno gulinnyo e Bungereza ogw'okuwandiika mu baluwa tugaweeza mu gavumenti, ng'ate twagala kuba abantu bannaffe abali wano. Nze mbadde nsaba tukikyuseemu ekyo. Tekituyamba. Ne bwe tubeera ne misunderstandings mu politics. Debates are always there. Let us debate political issues politically. Let us try to resolve political issues politically. Tuleme kuyingiza mu bulamu bw'abantu, individuals. Kitegeera. Naye ate namwe abakulembeze ba NUP mbakyalenjinga to find out eyashalinze list eyo ne Mwami Ssebuggwawo. Kubanga Mwami Ssebuggwawo tasobola kubanga ya-identifyinze abantu abo through the videos mwasharinze. Clearly, omu ku bantu eyaregisteringa abaana abo oba abantu abo abaami n'abakyala yakutte list eyo n'agiwa Mwami Ssebuggwawo. He can't be so accurate like that. Kubanga apparently, kusinziira ku conversations zenfunye n'abantu abamu, every single person eyabadde ku pepe eyo indeed yali e Ottawa. Okuggyako ogundi Mwami Kyuma kya Yesu, ring leader, yamisinzeeko naye ate nga naye yaliyo. Kitegeera. So omuntu wabanga alinga 90% correct ku list eyabaddeko eyawandiikiddwa, mwebuuze ani yakutte list eyo n'agimuwa. Kati nammwe mwecheckinge. Mwecheckinge nammwe. In the meantime, muganda wange Mwami Ssebuggwawo nkusaba abakumemu mu mutima. It's okay. Oyinza okuba wawandiise ng'omanyi there's some value that is going to be added to your advocacy. Nekirowoozeeko weefumbintirizeemu. If you can say sorry to some people. If you don't want to do that, that's fine. Nekyo omanya nti abantu bategedde nti gwe wagiwandiise newankubadde nga there's someone eyavuddeyo nagezaako okwewa attribution eyo gye yagiwandiise kitegeera. Anyway, all right. I'm reading from Afande Momo right now, an assignment yampadde okukola. Okay. So when are you coming to join us, Afande Momo? Jango to joining. Tulabe kigenda maaso. Meanwhile, kasooka mbaddeyo wano mu Bulango katono nnyo. The gown is happening this week. Friday, come join us to celebrate African excellency at the University of Toronto. The gown, organized by the African Alumni Association at the University of Toronto. The Luo Convention is happening May 23rd to 25th. Registering, Luga Fest Toronto, we are still registering people. Bobotoli Uganda, Ngoli UK, Obama Europe, anywhere in Europe, Obama America, you can still register. So register, Mujimu Twegateko. I love the response from Ottawa. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Of course, the gown is happening this weekend. Saturday, Friday evening. Let us celebrate African excellence together. Yeah, let us celebrate African excellence together. Afande Momo, I'm waiting for you. We start at 5. I think I've spoken for my monologue is kind of done right now. Njagadde njogere nga ndi eyo muka short screen as opposed to being here. Ekitegeera. Naye nga mwebale kutubanga mutu joininze. Afande Momo will be joining us shortly. She is on her way. Leaders of bamanyi babeera busy ku kino nekiri. Ekitegeera. Naye nga bannaye Uganda simanyi lwaki temwagalane twagalane tetulina kye tufiirwa mu kwagalana kitegeera Bible gamba tulina ebbanja ffenna lya kwagalana kitegeera tulina ebbanja ffenna lya kwagalana kyekirabo Katonda kyawaffe abantu okwagalana ffenna kyekitugatta kyekiraga nti Katonda kagwayo kati awo saali muyimbi nno naye nyinza okuyita sikyo nyinza okuyita ninda Afande Momo bannaye mwebale kubeera nga muli naffe wano ninda I'm waiting for Afande Momo maze okukola rants zange ababadde balinze rants ziwedde ekintu maze okyogerako ekyo mujja kuddayo mukalabe. In the meantime, there's a couple of events coming up going to happen in both our communities here in Toronto, but also in Massachusetts, in Boston, Massachusetts. Next weekend, Waliyo Kabaka Foundation, I think that's in Minnesota, Kabaka Foundation launch happening next weekend. Weekend Yedako, May 11th, Waliyo Kabaka Foundation launch Toronto. Kabaka Foundation launch Toronto. Omulangira Crispin Junju ajja kubeerawo wano. Crispin Junju Chiwewa. He will be here. As far as I'm concerned, yako yazedda yayise I think California. Yayise California nayingirawo gyali. Next weekend agenda kubeera Minnesota. Gabaggulawo Kabaka Foundation launch eyo. The weekend eddako egenda kubeera May 11th. Weekend ejja egenda kubeera May 4th. Weekend eddako egenda kubeera May 11th. Kabaka Foundation launch Toronto. Muje abasobodde mwenna mugende mugabe omusaayi mumale mugende mulabe Mariam Ndagire. Sirina gundi nno. Sirina flyers zaabwe y'ensonga lwaki sinabazigabana. Bana bazimpeereza direct nja ziteekako. Kubanga sirina gagenda zinoonya mu WhatsApp groups. Kitegeera. Naye nga mukimanyi bumanya nti Waliyo Kabaka Foundation launch happening on May 11th. Yeah, right here in the heart of Toronto. So come join the Uganda community, the Ugandan community, as we launch Kabaka Foundation Canada chapter. Of course, we saw that in British Columbia they had a blood donation drive, which seems, according to the pictures, it seems to have been a successful drive. I hope that's going to be replicated here in Toronto. And we are looking forward to that, of course, as always. In the meantime, Afande Momo has sent me some graphics that she would want me to share with you, so I'm going to be sharing with you shortly. Please bear with me. Many technology, so I have to put together all those slides and be able to share them here with you folks. Nenga mugamba chimwanaye mugamba mutya. You can go to YouTube or Facebook or wali. You can send me some questions, write some comments to indicate that you are there. If you have a question, you can pose it. Happy to answer that question. You can, based on what we have so far shared, in regards to the events that are happening. Ombuuzi ekyo ki ekitegeeza ki ekyo kigenda kukola kitya? Ate Uganda Festival etegeeza ki? Ate Luwo Convention etegeeza ki? Ate the gown kyeki kitegeera? Yeah, feel free to ask me those questions so that I can. Wow, this lady is on a plane. That's so fun. She's disembarking on a plane apparently. That is so funny. Like seriously. Yangambye ndeze essaawa 10 naye agenda tujoininga shortly. Temukitya agenda tujoininga shortly. If you have any questions, feel free to send those questions. I am here to respond to any of your questions. Happy to share. Right. Kati. Omanyi okubeera ng'okola ebintu. Just a moment. I'm just going to share these momentarily as I organize something and getting ready for Madame Afande Momo. We do not take your support for granted. We truly appreciate your support. But in the meantime, live on the State of the Nation, and this is Voices Abroad. Yeah, this is Voices Abroad. This is Voices Abroad. Thank you so much for joining us. As we delve into understanding our communities through the lens of our leaders, through the eyes of our leaders. What is the Ugandan community abroad? How do the Ugandan communities abroad operate? How do they navigate life abroad? What can we learn from each other? A few of the events that are happening in Toronto, so next Friday, tuinawe the Gown African Scholars Awards. That's going to be held at the University of Toronto, precisely at Mercy College. Please join us if you have an invitation. It's an invite-only event. If you do want to know more about it, connect with Catherine Bate. She's the Senior Volunteer Coordinator for the University of Toronto African Alumni Association. And she will let you know how you can get an invitation. Of course, Lugafest Toronto is happening June 7th to July 1st. look out for more info. If you are in the US, if you are in UK, if you are in Europe, your registration is still open. You can come and join us. Tujja kubaaniriza n'essanyu lingi nnyo. The Luo Convention is happening as well. Please mujje mutwegatteko, mwewandiise mumanye kiki ekigenda mu maaso. Baluo, what are the Luo people doing in Toronto? How are they organizing themselves? How can you be part and parcel of what they are planning, what they are organizing? Of course, the Newcomers Bash was there yesterday. The Newcomers Bash is organized by the Taj and Extreme Events. Taj is it's an initiative for girls. It's a girls' initiative. So I don't have a producer, that's why I'm doing this work by myself. So it's gonna take me a few minutes to get these things done. Yeah. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot the questions. Ninga mugamba ki bannabulaaya, mugamba mutya bannamerika, mugamba mutya banna abroad. My abroad people, how are you? My abroad people, mugamba mutya. We have a graduation happening next Saturday. Dr. Joan agenda kuba officially becoming a doctor. So look out for that as well. Look out for that. Yeah. All right. Let me see what I can do. This is what I can do. Olumu nsirikamuko tekitegeeza nti mba mbeerabidde, nsirikamuko because nina kyembayiiyiza, nina kyembafumbira. Afande Momo kyonkoze sikirabangako leero. Afande Momo today, watch out for it. Mother's Day banquet. ngenda mulindako for some time bwe ndaba nga tayingira nga nzigalawo. Mukitegedde. Abagumidde ku platform mbeebaza. Mwebale nnyo, mwebalege. Otherwise mugamba mutya politics abayisa ati ambawulira muri mu politics mwekuba left right and center. Lwaki mukola ebintu ebyo? Lwaki mukola ebintu ebyo? Lwaki mukola ebintu ebyo ddala? Lwaki mukola ebintu ebyo? Monologue yange yaweddeko dda. Ninda Afande Momo akyabuze. But in the meantime, tulinayo Uganda Festival Toronto happening on June 27th. Afande Momo will be joining us shortly. I want to thank you for standing by and waiting for her to come. Tumala ku ssaawa 12. So whenever she comes, ezo ssaawa zaawo n'abasigaza zajja okukozesa. She's landing. She's just disembarking right now. Maybe she's disembarking on an airplane. That's what is going on in communities affair. If you are a leader, oli California, oli Texas, oli Ludawa, oli Arizona, oli Dallas, Houston, oli Miami tulinayo group. Do we have a Ugandan community in Miami? Yeah, wherever you are. If you are in Europe and you feel like you would like to participate in this conversation, please join us. We not wait. We want to hear from all of you. What can we learn from you? Coach. You can also learn from us. From us together. Yeah. All right. Looks like the Afande is here, so I'm going to invite her in. The Afande, is the Afande here or no? Afande Momo. Are you here? Afande Momo achetereza kajira yetereza. Afande Momo, let Afande Momo get ready. She just left the airport right now, but as soon as she's settled in, she's going to join us. Yangambi tutandika saa 10, so I decided to start at exactly 5. Okuyiga okukwata obudde tubeere nga tuzanyira mu budde bwennyini bwe tuba tusazeewo okwogereramu. I think it's good. I think it's a good idea. Don't you think? I think it's a good idea. Together. Yeah. Nenga, we do appreciate you. We appreciate our community members, the people who follow. Watanaba kufollowinga muweleze kalinki aka abantu bafollowinga abayagadde. There's a lot of stuff to learn from each other. I think we do have a lot to learn from each other. The question is whether we are ready to learn from each other. Together. Yeah, I'll definitely bring in Afande Momo as soon as she's ready. As soon as she is ready. In the meantime, this Friday we have the Gown African Scholars Awards. It's happening Friday from 3. It's going to happen at the University of Toronto. It's being organized by the African Alumni Association, the University of Toronto African Alumni Association. If you want to be invited to this magnificent, classy, amazing event, reach out to Catherine Bate. She is the senior volunteer coordinator and the lady behind organizing. So reach out to her, figure out if she still has spaces to join. Then you can come join us on Friday as we celebrate African excellence. African excellence. The onus is on to us. This is our community. We gotta build it, not tear it. Tegede. Nenga mbagala nnyo nga bulijjo. Sali Henry. Tubeeramu nga tubaweereza mpola from the background. Tubeeramu nga tubaweereza. I hope you're taking very good care of your mental health. You need to. It's very important. If you can, genda ochakale koko. Genda komu mazibash. Next week, waliyo. There's something happening. What cruise over? Yeah, something like that. Is it next weekend? When is the boat cruise? Wabirionga 25 byembuzabuza bingi nnyo zibanyira bimanya. Terimu events nyingi nnyo wetaaga kukyaza ba event organizers ba Toronto batubuulire which event is which. Tegeera. Katubuulire which event is which one is which. Which one is which one is which. Nenga, it's a pleasure to serve you. It's a pleasure, my pleasure. The Gown African Scholars Awards. The Gown Luo Convention 2024. May 23 kwa 25. Reach out to the organizers. Together. May 23 kwa 25. Reach out to the organizers, register, come join them. Uganda Festival Toronto. Esimu eyo kweri mugiraba. Besimu eyo obuze kye kigenda maaso website nayo eyo kweri. Besimu obuze genda ku website utuweereze email, shall respond to you. Tujja kubuulira kye kigenda maaso. Who are we targeting? Why is it important? These are all worthy questions to engage with. Worthy questions to examine. Together. Don't be shy. 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 Right. Afande Momo came and left. But simanyi kyaliko batalina network. Afande Momo, are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Afande Momo, are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? All right. Interlude. That's the interlude. Alright, I'm coming back with Afande Momo shortly. This is the state of the nation. Rifa Uganda. We are deliberate, we are reasonable, we are uncensored. The state of the Nation with Henry Salah. All right. Afande Momo is here. Are you ready, Afande? Are you ready, Afande? Are you ready? Afande, are you ready? Are you ready, Afande? Do you hear me? Afande, 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 do you hear me? She doesn't hear me.
Yes, I can hear you now.
Oh.
I can hear you now.
Okay.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out the Bluetooth on my phone.
Where are you traveling to, first of all? You're supposed to be leading in Boston.
I'm just returning to Boston.
Okay. Oh, welcome back. Did you go out for duties?
Thank you. Yeah.
Welcome back.
I've been out the whole week.
Oh, you've been out the whole week.
How are you? I would have. Nange kenyini bade mayinti nja kuba maze by 5. The plane here delaying. My journey was supposed to be before.
Okay. That's fine. Nice to have you back. A few questions arose from the last 2 episodes that we had. One of them being that abantu bakyayagala obbaziika e Boston. Yagala kuteekawo cemetery. Abantu babagala ogenda bakolera Ugandan cemetery in Massachusetts, Boston, Massachusetts. Wankubidde nga bambuza asajja mmwe temwagala tuzzayo. But first, introduce yourself and then let people know what's going on.
Yeah, my name is Afande Momo, Maureen Asiimwe Kalemba, and I'm the president Uganda Boston Community Society or Association here in Massachusetts. And yeah, that's about it. And I just do not want to bury people, what would I say, in a foreign land, but it so happens that we have more than 40, 80, in fact 40 from 50 onwards years, which people have spent in Massachusetts. Therefore, we are bringing in a new breed of people. Those are our young ones, and these young ones don't know nothing except to be raised and born here. So we are looking at a generation. Did you lose me?
No, I'm here.
Okay, we're looking at a generation which is young, which is the upcoming generation. I call it my son's generation. So that generation knows nothing than to be in United States, about Uganda. Even though they know, they just go visit. It's like a tourism area for them. They don't look at it as home. So we have to think about their stay here. Even though we've brought them in the United States, even though we've raised them in the United States, even though we've given birth for them in the United States, we need to preserve our culture with them. And the only way we're going to do the preservation of culture and being together and solidify our heritage is by having one place that they bury us. When me, I'm a veteran, you know, so if I'm to go, they're going to give me a veteran spot, you know, but I wouldn't even want to be buried in my veterans if the Ugandans have a place. Okay, I would love to go with the Ugandan area so that I know that my children don't have to go through a lot of tombs looking for me. They would know where my mama is and go and, you know, pay their respects. So that is what we are looking at. It's not that we want to bury those who want to go home will go home, and those who want to stay will stay. But that is how it is.
The funny thing is that you are the one who said it, but they were calling me.
Cemetery. Naye si kibi okulaba akasola nga abantu manyi bawuliramu bibi byokka oba ekintu ekiri negative kubanga twayogera ebintu bingi. There's a lot of programs, you know, naye era olaba nti no bajjidde muki mu byakufiirwa byokka. It means that program bagiwuliriza katugenderaawo.
Koze njamuza mumubuuze nze agenda baggulira that's a good thing because now you don't have to worry about investing a lot of insurance money to go back. You can just have life insurance just enough to put in to give you a decent burial here. And your family doesn't have to have a lot of tensions and all those worries that come along with losing a loved one in America, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's a good idea that should be embraced as well. But at the same time, I think we need to do a lot of sensitization so that people understand. So what you just offered here, the preamble you just offered here regarding the second generation Ugandans and the third generation Ugandans, those people do not really connect with Uganda per se. They know my parents came from Uganda, but really I'm either American or I'm Canadian, right? They will be taken back after when they are done. They don't buy it. So I think the idea of having
they don't.
The idea of
and even it's very expensive. Mr. Sally. Now imagine if God forbid or anything that can happen in the world that you lose your son or daughter right now, you know,
right?
And then the expenses, the burial expenses to take back your son or daughter. Most of us have life insurance, but it may even not be encompassing your children. So still the expense here is coming to be big. So that's why when we are in UNA, we left that life insurance which we are proposing. We made sure that life insurance that we propose catered to some family members, you know, because most people's children would also have issues when it comes to burial. So these are not things that are small, they are big things, and we need to be looking at them widely.
Right. Well, that was a side question, but the main question is you wanted to tell us what's going on in Boston, Massachusetts, and the events that are going to happen throughout the year. I think events conflicts. How do you guys manage conflicts, scheduling conflicts? Because we seem to have a lot of those challenges in our communities, but you guys seem to be flawless in how you're organizing events. I don't know if you have those.
No, I think we make it seem like it's flawless, but there is always competition and some rubbing of shoulders and somebody just comes and says, hey, because you know, I hate to say this, but some people look at UBCA as an individual. They look at the community as Maureen. And I always tell people you should distinguish the two, because community is community. It will never be Maureen. Maureen is just a servant in there, leading the community, but we'll reach a time and leave, and then another person comes in, and then another person comes in. So don't ever look at community as an individual. Look at it as you, me, or anybody else collectively, and organs and everything. So that is the first conflict or first challenge we always meet, because somebody can come and say, oh, you have 5 events. I don't have the events. It's the community with the events, you know. So then they look at us, and then I tell them, first of all, yes, the people who were before us had one event, which was the rest were training events, which they did at a low pace. But I found most of the events in there. It's just that I made sure that I broadcast them more. But like the women's event is our first event, I would say. But
Right.
when we begin the year, we don't begin with the women's event. As UBCA, we begin the year. You will excuse my cold because I have a cold. Even last Sunday, I told you so. If you hear my voice husky or rusty a little at the edges, it's because of the cold that I'm going through, the bronchitis. So you excuse me. But I'm going back to the calendar. So we schedule a calendar. Our calendar in UBCA runs from January all the way to December. That is our calendar. Then we schedule one whereby we are going to look at every month, like the way the US government looks at stuff. The US government, the way it looks at its calendar is how UBCA looks at its calendar period, because we are an organization within the US nation. So we are going and binding by the US laws. So in January, it's given to us, it's Martin Luther Day. So generally we do the Martin Luther, and we make sure that we observe what Martin Luther sayings are, where we have one monument downtown Boston. We go there. We have our friends in Waltham, the Africano Center, who basically bring in the what the yeah, who basically bring in the winter drive in January. So we don't do anything in January except have our mandatory leadership meetings. So with our mandatory leadership meetings, which happen at end of January and end of February, in these two leadership meetings, I must say, we bring in all the leadership of all organizations. We make sure that we have emails on the I try to call up leaderships in a Zoom meeting or in person if they can. And we talk about our community. We're gonna see it in 2024 or 2025, what we need to improve on, where we did wrong, what we are lacking in our organization, how we put it out there, things like that. So when we finish to do that, then we go into February. February is our education month, and that is where our second meeting of leadership happens if the first one in January was not conclusive. When we do our February month for education, we call upon everybody, charter schools, name it, college schools, college funding. We talk about universities, we talk about elementary public school, all the way. We're looking at schools. So we go into March. March is our International Women's Day celebration. It is our biggest occasion. Remember when I started up, I was talking about March. So March is our biggest occasion, but we like as much as possible to make sure that everybody is tracking that was the first event that UBCA ever had. So all the years that UBCA was in existence, it had the March event, the Women's Day, which is started in 2017. So it kicked off so well. We brought in all organizations, and that is how UBCA started its functions. Event world, not the functions of existing, but the events and trainings. So in March, after the Women's Day, we recognize the women who have excelled. We give in the trainings. This year, we gave a training in mental health. It was all mental health oriented, and how parents are helping in chauffeuring the children, the youth mental health. We even had a study for mental health from January to March. So generally, we made sure that we are mental health ready, as now our health via, at least we have now some resilience via attacking certain issues in our community. So now we go into April. And April is always the time frame where we have the annual general meeting, the first quarter annual general meeting. That's how we call it. In this first quarter, which we are going to have on Tuesday, this Tuesday, we're going to have it. And in this quarter, we're going to make sure that we are tackling those areas which we feel we are wanting in 2013, the ones we voted on in January with the leaders, and the ones we hope to move the community forward as we proceed in the next 4 months. Because we have another one in August and another one in December, and then start the year again. So we come to May, and in May it's a healthcare month. It's healthcare, and we are always trying to bring in everybody for insurance, life insurance, healthcare insurance, life insurance. We beat the instructor, all those instructors for healthcare, those nurses, the skilled people in regular residential counseling, anybody who has hands-on in healthcare. It's healthcare month. However, this time round, we couldn't get the days because, like you said, how do I manage conflict? We had our days for the healthcare May 18th and 19th, but then there was another person who brought in a play immediately before our flyer was out. So now we were like, the calendar was out. It shows that those days are already booked. There were hours, but hey, he decided to put out his flyers. Guess what? He's a fellow leader like me, you know. So I approached. This is how I deal with my challenges and conflict. I approached and made a phone call and say, hey, this is not right, you know. You shouldn't be doing something like that when we've already put it out in community. That we should not be having contradicting events or conflicting events.
Yeah.
So he apologized and said next time he's not going to be doing that. And he said he can't move his event because he has a lot of artists who are coming in. So I, as a community, I had to take the ball in my own hands and said, that, where should I move this event? I can move it either to the right or to the left. And then I had to move it to Mother's Day. So you see that now I have Mother's Day banquet, because that is the only time I had, because in the next weekend after Mother's Day, we have the Archbishop is coming, Kazimba Mugalu, and then also we have the Kabaka Foundation, and we have, in that week, we have the play. So you see how many events are in that week. That is 18th, 19th, so it's a lot, and it's heavily crowded. So for us as a community, we moved to this other week, where initially was Spice Diana, you know, and we are able to take up that week. Then we went into the idea of, if we have the Mother's Day banquet, we are recognizing mothers, but which mothers? Why mothers? You know, so this Mother's Day event, which is on May 12th, we decided to recognize generational mothers.
What do you mean by generational mothers? What exactly does that mean?
Yes, that's. Oh, excuse me. I hope I'm not gonna cough into the whole thing. So generational mothers are mothers who have been here for a while in the United States. As in, let me say, I'm gonna give my mother as an example.
Right.
My mother may, just in case if her mother was still living, if her mother came to the United States and then brought my mother to the United States, and then my mother brought me to the United States, and then I brought my children to the United States, and then my children brought my children. You get it? That kind of generation is what we're looking for. So those are the generational mothers, because we have a lot of them in here in Massachusetts. So my mother brought me, and I gave birth to my babies, you know. I didn't bring anybody, but I gave birth to my babies in here. So I know that is that now I have the second generation with me. But we may find we have somebody who has a third or fourth generation and has even the grandchildren, If the children had given birth, then they go into the other third generation. So we are looking at the...
Wouldn't that make you second generation? If you have a mother here already who was the immigrant, she brought you.
Which is the second?
You're the first generation. Are you the first generation?
I am the first generation. She brought me.
So there's the immigrant generation, the first generation, the second generation, and third generation. Okay.
Yes. So we are looking at somebody. We want to recognize one with 4 generations. We're looking for that person. And we are yet to know if there is any, but we've had the 3 generations. We're seeing those ones. So, so there are many for 3 generations. We are encouraging mothers who are having challenges. The children, the second generation, when they come to the United States, some of them decide to, even the first generation, not to talk to their parents again. So they give their parents a mental challenge. The mothers now also resort to alcohol, or they resort to loneliness in the house, or even they're depressed. They're out there when you find the mothers and you say, oh, banange mama Momo yabachi, I thought this woman was nice, and now you look at how she is. These people are not taking care of their mothers. So we want to start the culture of taking care of our mothers, to pamper our mothers every Mother's Day, at least to show them that there is love in the community. We are adoring them. We know that they are an important part of us, and also the mothers to bring the children to community, because like I told you, it's generational. So we want to see our community moving from our hands to the next hands, to the next hands, to the next hands, So that is what we're looking at.
What happens when May 12th you have mothers who have to work? How are you going to manage those?
Yeah, some are going to work, definitely. Some are going to work. We're not going to say that every mother is going to be there, no. But those who can attend and can afford to attend, we really, really encourage them to come. But like there's a guest speaker, she has 3 of her children. She wanted her children, they're all doctors. In fact, they're all in the healthcare world. One is a doctor, another one is a nurse practitioner, and also another one is a nurse practitioner. There are 3 of them. And she really wanted those children to be around, but guess what? The children have to fly out that time, so she cannot be able to. This lady Vivian, who is one of our guest speakers, who you put up here, she is studying and has been working with John Hopkinson University, the Hopkinson University.
Yeah.
And now she's in Harvard Medical School. That's where she's doing her PhD. So I want her to come, and she's a mother. At the same time, she stood for state representative. So she is an idol our young generation would emulate, because despite the fact that she never made it through, that's not the end. She may make it through any other time, but she's showing us persistence. And if you lose in an election, it doesn't mean that you should stop interacting with community. It means you should even interact more with community, because you know more and much better. And she's in the medical world doing her PhD in the medicine, So we need to recognize that. And she is graduating in May. So
amazing.
We are going to have her as a community graduate, at the same time as a mother of 2 generations, because for her, she does not have her own mother here. But we hope to see more of such mothers come up. And that is why they have been giving us those various pictures you've been seeing. Many families are coming out, sending in their pictures so that we can recognize them. So that is my first quarter. let me take some water as I come back to discuss the next part of the year.
I know. It's past 6 o'clock, so I think we are gonna have to wrap up this conversation actually.
Oh, then I
Uh,
can help you out and finish out with Men's Day. So that
yeah,
if
so
you,
just finished with
uh,
the men's day so that we can always come back and let people know what's going on because we are probably
okay,
going to forget them all anyway.
yeah.
Uh,
Anyway, so after May, we have immigration in between, which is a conferencing and training, which we do around. We shall still do it on May 18th. Remember, our calendar was on May 18th, so we'll have some immigration conference during the day, which will happen at UBCA offices, in the conference room, which we have out there. And then on June 16th, it's the Father's Day. But in our area, they called it Mother's Day. They called it Mother's Day because they called it Mother's Day because that is where we were. They called it Men's Day because we are looking at those fathers at the same time the man who is in our community. This man, why we are so much into the man, we don't want to look at only those who gave birth, biological fathers, or the single dads, or those ones that are only the who can be productive. But we want to look at those men, as in men as a whole, and including everybody. So we called it Men's Day instead of Father's Day, and that is on June 16th. Every June, on Father's Day, we celebrate UBCA Men's Day.
so this is deliberate because you want to include men who have no children yet, but who have
Yes,
made significant contributions to the community. That's amazing.
to the community, yeah.
And that's happening on June 18th,
June 16th,
June 16th. Awesome.
yes.
We shall definitely revisit this conversation to share what is going on. Hopefully, the next weekend we can get someone from a different community. But in the meantime,
Yeah.
I want to thank you for coming and sharing what you have shared
Mm.
before. I hope the folks who were asking me about the symmetry questions are
You
feeling
said
much
you had
better.
two questions, but you gave me only one.
Well, the other question was about the idea of celebrating mothers and men. Where you got that idea? I
Okay.
also had the. Oh, I asked you two questions actually. The other one was how you manage conflicts, scheduling conflicts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That
how you
one,
manage
we
scheduling
just
such
talk. We
conflicts.
just have to dialogue and put the calendar out as much as possible. Talk to people like in these occasions or these conferences or trainings or broadcasts, and tell people, hey, we want you to come to community and register your organization or register your event. And that way, when people are coming up with conflicting with your event, we have to back you up as a community because we know that we have had you first come first serve. The days are many, the months are many, so we believe that we can all have a common rapport, and also a common way of dialoguing and minimize conflict and contradictions. And like I've given you one of the occasions that was contradicting, but we are able to overcome that. And it doesn't mean that means that we hate each other or something is bad. No, we just try to make sure that we can dialogue through our challenges, and next time we do better. So we were able to do that. And in October, we have our independence, and in December, we have our holiday gala. So those are our events. There's nothing spectacular, but we always make sure that when they come up, we advertise and call upon our community people to always come and support community, because in through these events we have nothing else we gain from it except office rent or office
Right.
supplies. And
Mhm.
also, if we can, there are people who come with office problems, like if we have the homeless people saying, I've come to office so that I can have something to eat I'm gonna use the membership money to give him to go eat, or the money that we got from the event. There's another person may come. I was evicted. I need storage facility. I don't have. I want some, at least a month out. We would give him, like, those kind of small things that we can give to people. Somebody may not have fuel. Another one may be having a car stack, and we are able to, send out somebody and pay the Uber or something. Those are the things that we do. So supporting community, the event itself may not give us a lot of money, but the 1,000, the 500 that we add on, which we never had before, is something that we appreciate. So that's how our events are. The good thing I want to say, I want to thank the sponsors and also the service providers, because some of them give us some events for free or at a half price, or even at a donated, price. And also we thank those volunteers who are within us, who come and help me out as much as possible whenever these events happen. So I can't forget those volunteers, the ladies, the Otebas, the Jalia, Esther, Dennis, and whosoever is out there that I haven't mentioned. But I thank everybody for helping out. Shifa, Isma, those are the people who have made UBC what it is today.
Wow. It's good that you remember all the names. Always important.
I do, because I do remember my volunteers, because my volunteers are very few. And now this year I've got a new volunteers. I have a pair of 3 sisters and who are helping me with IT bookkeeping, Stacy, Samantha, and Rowena. And then I have also another lady who is always in the office. She's called Irene. She's just an Eslovakist who came, and she's starting her nursing career. So she's doing her time for the school with us in community, and she's helping us get our membership roster together. And I hope by next week, I'm praying that by Tuesday we would have our membership all out and everybody up to date. So thank you so much for having us and having this this wonderful broadcast today.
Again, thank you so much for coming as well. Always fixing time within your busy schedules, trying to communicate to the community using all avenues that are available to you, from WhatsApp to YouTube to Facebook to Twitter. This conversation is broadcast everywhere. They can see you everywhere. So people can't tell you that we didn't see you because we were on Twitter or X, whatever they call it right now.
It's X accounts.
Yeah, so they are on. It's on X. It's on Facebook. It's on YouTube. It's everywhere.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much again. Always a pleasure to have you. We shall see what we have scheduled next week. If you have any pertinent events that are happening, share those flyers in time so that I can work on that presentation earlier than I did today.
All right, thank you. I'll do that. And thank you for being who you are, and thank you for promoting communities.
You're most welcome. Again, thank you so much, and see you soon.
All right, bye.
All right, that was Afande Momo trying to tell us what's going on in Boston, Massachusetts, and everything that you need to know, you as a resident of Boston, Massachusetts, Boston of Waltham, Boston, Massachusetts as a state. You know when and what is convenient to you. Look out for it. Look out for her. If you have an event that you want to be included in the annual calendar, this is your opportunity to reach out to her and ensure that you are able to be included so as to minimize the conflicts that may arise in scheduling. Again, thank you so much for joining us. My name is Henry Sally, and I am very excited to have you folks join us every day. So that's the Mother's Day banquet that is happening. This Friday, we have the Gown African Scholars Awards. It's happening at the University of Toronto within Massey College. Reach out to Catherine Bate if you would like to be invited to this event. Uganda Festival Toronto is happening on June 27th to July 1st. You can reach out to me or to Catherine Bate again to find out how to register and how you can get involved or volunteer for the organizing team. The Luo Convention is happening on May 23rd to 25th. Please reach out to the organizers, try to know how you can get involved or how you can register, especially if you live in Europe or the US. As I said, the gown is happening soon. This Friday. Reach out to Catherine Bate or you can shoot me a message to find out what's going on. Again, thank you so much for joining us. My name is Henry Sally, and this is the State of the Nation, Voices Abroad. Voices Abroad. Thank you so much. This is the State of the Nation. Irifa Mwanga. We are deliberate, we are reasonable, we are uncensored. The State of the Nation with Henry Sally.